All right, today we are diving into a really unsettling story that comes to us from Uttar Pradesh in India. Now, this isn't just some campfire tale. It's presented as a first-hand account of one single terrifying night. Let's break down exactly what happened. And it all starts with a question. A really strange one when you think about it. Can a small, simple act of kindness turn out to be deadly? I want you to keep that question in the back of your mind as we go through this.
So, our story begins in a place that couldn't be more normal, just an ordinary evening at a bus stop. We're following the experience of Ronit, who was just a 15-year-old boy at the time. This whole thing is his story.
Okay, so you gotta picture this. Ronit's just finished his tuition classes. He's at the bus stop waiting for his ride home. You know, something he's probably done 100 times before. It's completely routine, totally mundane. There's absolutely no reason for him to think this night is gonna be any different from any other.
While he's waiting, he notices an old woman sitting on a bench, and she's crying. So feeling bad for her, he does what any kind person might do. He walks over and offers her his bottle of water. Such a simple, decent thing to do, right? Well, that's the moment that changes everything.
Because his small act of kindness isn't met with a thank you. Oh no, it is met with pure, absolute terror.
The woman just stops crying. Her whole demeanor shifts in an instant. She looks right at Ronit, and her voice is suddenly cold and demanding. She says, "Where is my husband? Tell me now or it won't be good for you." The change is so abrupt, it's just jarring.
Ronit is, you can imagine, completely thrown. His first, logical thought is the same one we'd probably all have, that this woman must be mentally unwell. So he does the sensible thing. He takes a couple steps back, just trying to put some space between them.
But then, she stands up and starts moving toward him. And that's when Ronit sees it. The thing that shatters any rational explanation. Her feet. They're twisted at a horrible angle, like they're broken. But worse, much worse, they're not touching the ground. She is literally floating in the air.
And in that moment, all rational thought just evaporates. Instinct takes over. He drops the water bottle and he just runs. Doesn't even think to look back. He just sprints for home, his mind reeling from the impossible thing he just witnessed. He gets home, heart pounding, probably thinking he's safe. But the horror wasn't limited to the bus stop. It had followed him. Later that night, in the dead of night, around 2 in the morning, Ronit is suddenly woken up by a sound, a familiar sound. It's the sound of someone crying. He sits up in his bed and his blood just turns to ice. Because there, sitting at the foot of his own bed, in his room, is the same woman from the bus stop.
And get this, she's holding the water bottle, the one Ronit dropped. But it's not filled with water anymore. Now it's filled with blood. Before he can even process it, she lunges at him. She pins him down on his bed, and her hands wrap around his throat, and she starts to choke him. He said her face was twisted into this terrifying expression, as if she would eat him. And all the while, she's hissing the same accusation over and over. "You killed my husband." Ronit somehow manages to scream. His parents hear him, and they burst into the room. They flick on the light switch, and in that instant, she's gone. She just vanished into thin air, leaving Ronit there, terrified and hysterical.
So, the physical attack was over, but the story was far from it. The real question is, what do you do after something like that? How do you even begin to process it? So Ronit, sobbing, trying to catch his breath, he tells his parents everything that happened. But, put yourself in their shoes. They walk into a dark room and find their son screaming his head off. Their only logical conclusion? He must have had a terribly vivid nightmare. But for Ronit, this was no dream. And the experience left a deep scar. For months afterwards, he was shaken, constantly fearful. He actually quit his tuition classes just so he would never have a reason to go near that bus stop again. And to this day, he has no idea who or what that woman was. And that's where the story leaves us. It leaves us with the same chilling, unanswered question that Ronit has probably been asking himself for years. If it wasn't a bad dream, then who was she? A vengeful spirit? Some say a chudal from local folklore, a spirit forever looking for someone to blame for her tragedy. What do you think?